It's hard to believe that Wolverine has been gracing the movie screens for almost 25 years now, and much longer if you count his comic book adventures. And with over a quarter century of history to the character, we understand that his story so far is convoluted to say the least. Knowing that, we here at KRTV Marvel thought it best to help our fellow true believers be on the up and up on what the berserking badass of mutantdom has been up to leading up to his much anticipated appearance in Deadpool 3. So, join us as we delve into Wolverine's film history in this video. And if you love amazing superhero content, please feel free to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more pop culture goodness. Suffice it to say that the X-Men movies have had a long and twisted chronology. To make things more coherent for everyone, or at least as coherent as we can make it, we're going to start with the original timeline presented in the first X-Men trilogy along with X-Men Origins Wolverine. So, Wolvie's story begins with his life as a boy named James Howlett sometime in the mid-19th century. He accidentally kills his parents when his mutant powers first manifest as a child, the ability to grow sharp bone claws and quickly regenerate from physical injuries. He then goes on to live with his adopted brother Victor, aka Sabretooth, who also happens to be a mutant with regenerative and feral qualities. Having a knack for violence and basically being immortal, the brothers live more or less as soldiers and mercenaries throughout the decades. Eventually, Logan finds himself in World War II, where he saves a Japanese soldier named Ichiro Yoshida from the A-bomb. Logan and Victor then find themselves working for a covert government assassin group called Team X sometime in the mid-20th century. James quits the team and has a falling out with Sabretooth when he's had enough bloodshed, so he goes into hiding. Fast forward to 1988, and James is now living under an assumed name, Logan. He has a girlfriend named Kayla, and they're pretty much living a quiet life in the woods. One day, though, Logan finds an apparently dead Kayla and discovers Victor did it. He hunts his brother down, and they fight, but Logan loses. The leader of Team X, William Stryker, offers Logan a chance to defeat his brother by grafting adamantium, the strongest metal known to man, grafted to his bones. He agrees and proceeds with the experiment. Stryker has other plans though. He's going to mind wipe Logan and turn him into his personal assassin. Logan finds out about this and escapes the lab. Eventually, he learns that Kayla is actually alive and has been deceiving him since the day they met. It turns out Stryker is blackmailing her to keep watch over Logan in exchange for her sister. By the end of X-Men Origins Wolverine, Kayla ends up dead at the hands of Stryker, and the shady general successfully erases Logan's memory with an adamantium bullet to the head. Logan meets Marie D'Encanto, aka Rogue, sometime in the early 2000s. They were then sent to Xavier's Institute for Gifted Youngsters after a couple of X-Men, Storm and Cyclops, saved them from Sabretooth. There, Professor Charles Xavier offers him a place to stay and help with regaining his memories. Logan accepts this, becomes an X-Man named Wolverine, and works together with them to foil Magneto, Sabretooth, and the rest of the Brotherhood of Mutants' plans to turn everyone in New York into a mutant. After that, Professor X keeps true to his promise and tells Logan to head to Alkali Lake to find the answers he's looking for. Logan does so. Logan eventually gets his revenge, his memories back, and finally puts an end to Stryker, formally ending decades of being hunted down. Jean Grey, a fellow X-Men member and Wolverine's love interest, dies along the way, though. A couple of years pass, and Cyclops mysteriously disappears. Professor X sends Logan to his last known whereabouts, Alkali Lake. Logan eventually discovers that Jean is alive, but she's gone crazy after awakening her Phoenix persona. In the end, Logan ends up killing her. Logan decides to leave the X-Men and live as a hermit somewhere in the Yukon. A few years later, he gets a visit from a mysterious girl named Yukio who requests him to go to Japan with her. There, he discovers that Ichiro, the Japanese soldier he saved in World War II, is trying to steal Logan's regenerative powers so that he can become immortal. He foils that plan and goes back stateside afterwards. In the US, he meets with Magneto and Professor X, who tell him there's a huge threat looming over all of mutantdom. Fast forward to the 2020s and nearly all mutants in the world are extinct, thanks to the Sentinels. Robots created by Dr. Bolivar Trask, it's revealed that humanity decided to produce Sentinels en masse to hunt down mutants after Mystique, a shape-shifting mutant activist, killed Trask in the 70s. Logan travels back in time, stops Mystique from killing Trask, and successfully alters the timeline, which leads to a quick note. There are gaping plot holes that appear in the X-Men cinematic universe after Days of Future Past. However, there are a couple notable and explicit changes that we can suss out here. First, Stryker still manages to graft adamantium into Logan's skeleton. However, this happens in the early 70s instead of the late 80s, as seen in X-Men Apocalypse. And second, Logan eventually becomes a bona fide history teacher at the Xavier Institute until the 2020s. Now, the 27 masterpiece, Logan's place in the grand timeline of the X-Men cinematic universe is unclear. So, it's best if we just treated this reality as an alternate timeline separate from the original and post-DOFP ones. Set in the late 2020s, the X-Men are dead, save for Professor X and an aging Wolverine who's slowly dying of adamantium poisoning. Plus, a company called Transigen has successfully lowered mutant birth rates using genetically altered food. The two old men live in poverty until one day, Wolvie gets a job to help a kid go to Eden, a mutant sanctuary in North Dakota. It turns out that the kid, Laura, is a mutant born from Wolvie's DNA developed by Transigen, making the Claude Canuck her dad. Wolverine and Laura eventually make it to Eden, where he dies after defending the kids from Transigen agents. Now, we're going to give you a few seconds to turn away now, because spoilers ahead. We still have no idea which iteration of Wolverine will appear in Deadpool 3. Although Hugh Jackman himself has stated that it will definitely not be the version we saw in Logan. Chances are low that it's going to be either the same character from the original Fox-produced cinematic universe or the post-DOFP reality. However, mutants have just been introduced in the MCU via the Marvel's mid-credit scene. So, the question we should ask here is, will the Wolverine in Deadpool 3 be from the same universe? Or maybe it's going to be an entirely different Logan from one of the MCU's many multiverses? Only time will tell. And the only thing we know for sure is that we're so hyped to see Wolverine in another Marvel movie. Got any ideas what the future will hold for Wolverine on the silver screen? Share your theories in the comments section below. And for more of the best pop culture content, hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time.